What's up, YouTube? It's the one and only legend of winning, aka Low, and I'm back with another episode of the NBA preview. Now, as always, for people out there who missed the last episode, there will be an annotation in the top right hand corner, link in the description, and at the end of the video, make sure you watch it all the way to the end. I will leave some annotations not only for last episode, but also a playlist for all the episodes so you can binge watch. And shout out to the people out there in the comment section below who are predicting what is going to be the next team. This is what I'll do. For everyone who out there predicts the correct team that is up next in NBA preview, and you are the first one to do it, I'll make sure I'll put your name down and count all the tallies. And the person with the most correct predictions, I will then give you a copy of NBA 2K18, whatever platform you're playing it on, and that'll be another part of the giveaway. And the reason why I'm doing this really is because the Orlando Magic ain't really much to say about this team. I'm gonna just outright say it, and I'm gonna keep saying it throughout this entire video. The Orlando Magic are the worst organization as of right now. I know a lot of people are going to point out the Brooklyn Nets. I know a lot of people are going to point out the Sacramento Kings and all these other organizations that may end up having a worse record this next season, but at least they're heading in a direction. This is an organization that has been stagnant ever since they've lost Dwight Howard several years ago, and they really haven't made any promising progression since then, which is massively concerning. It's one thing if you want to just tank and rebuild and get as many draft picks as you possibly can. It's another thing to constantly be in denial of where you were at, sign a whole bunch of free agents for no reason whatsoever, and actually you sign free agents for positions that you already have, which is mind-blowing to me that it consistently happens with the Orlando Magic. But with that being said, that actually leads us to our summer social media, which I guess is some good news for my Orlando Magic fans out there.
I'm pleased to be joined by new Magic General Manager John Hammond, kind enough to take a few minutes with me here.
Now, for people out there who are unaware, Rob Hennigan, who was the previous general manager, he was fired, and they brought in John Hammond, who was the general manager for the Milwaukee Bucks for the past several seasons. So the good news is, John Hammond is a pretty solid general manager, or at least from what I've been able to gather from the research that I've done over his tenure with the Milwaukee Bucks. He's really good when it comes to finding young talent. He was able to get Chris Middleton, Jabari Parker, Giannis. Matter of fact, a good handful of their young players on their roster are players that weren't even selected in the top 3, obviously outside of Jabari Parker. But hopefully things will change for Orlando, because I honestly felt as if Rob Hennigan, boy, he was some trash now. Rob Hennigan was low-key trash, but again, we'll talk about that later on. But with that being said, I think that's a great transition to our depth chart and our contracts. Matter of fact, that's not even a transition. It's just Rob Hennigan is so trash. It is amazing to me. But let's take the time out and look at these contracts real quick. So right off the bat, we already see John Hammond going to work on some of these young players, bringing them on the team. Shelvin Mack and Jonathan Simmons, two really solid players in my opinion, especially Jonathan Simmons. What he's been able to show us with his time in San Antonio was rather impressive, and I'm actually surprised. Jonathan Simmons went for a 3-year, $20 million contract. And then we also have Mo Speights, Aaron Aflalo, Rudez on 1-year deals, so that's cool as well. Then when we talk about the overpaid player, we got to talk about Bismack Biyombo real quick. Honestly, I think Bismack Biyombo is a solid player. I think he has a lot of promise in the league, and $17 million, depending on what team he's on, makes some sense. However, when you're on a roster where Vucevic is still on the team and Bismack Biyombo will be coming off of the bench receiving $17 million, to me that's a bit much. So because he's coming off the bench, that's the reason why I would label him as overpaid. Then when it comes to our expiring contracts, outside of the 1-year deals, again like Aaron Aflalo and Mo Speights, we also have 2 young players in Aaron Gordon and Elfrid Payton. Obviously they're going to be restricted free agents because they're still under their rookie deals. But it is very interesting to see what's going to happen in this next upcoming offseason, because both of these players have a lot of talent to provide to whatever team they go to. However, because of the situation they've been in Orlando, a lot of teams may not understand how much they are truly valued. But with that being said, let's go ahead and look at this depth chart real quick, because I'm gonna be straight up honest with you all. I like some of the players on this team. So in the backcourt, we have Elfrid Payton and Evan Fournier. At the 3, we have T. Ross. At the 4, Aaron Gordon, and at the 5, Vucevic. By far, some of the most underrated players in the NBA right now. And then coming off the bench though, we have DJ Augustine, Aaron Aflalo, shout out to my man Jonathan Simmons, also Jonathan Isaac as well, one of those players that got selected in the top 10 that's going a little underneath the radar, mainly because he's playing for the Orlando Magic and a lot of people just don't know what to expect with his team. And then you have Bismack Biyombo. And also most spades deep in the cut as well. He may play a little 4 and some 5 space out the floor, especially because Bismack Biyombo and Vucevic are 2 players that definitely are not able to provide you with any spacing. Like I said before though, I like this roster. I actually like a lot of the players on this team. I just don't like them all together on the same team with one another. It's just that on this team, especially offensively, it's really hard to get anything going because there's no standout player on this roster, which is why offensively, this team is really suspect. The only reason why I have this team as high as they are right now, though, is simply because of Frank Vogel. I'm a huge believer in Frank Vogel. I think he's a great coach. Completely confused to why Larry Bird let him go in Indiana, but I think it was a great pickup for the organization to get a new head coach in Frank Vogel, defensive minded, and hopefully he's able to pull out as much potential as he can in some of these younger players. But with that being said, we got to go to our spotlight player of the day, and I briefly talked about him, and I want to talk about him a little bit more, and that is Aaron Gordon. Now, Aaron Gordon is a 6'9" forward who spent his entire career with the Orlando Magic, and quite honestly, I'm sick and tired of his talents being wasted on this team. In my humble opinion, I think Aaron Gordon is a fantastic player, or at least he has potential to be a fantastic player. He's extremely athletic, he crashes the boards when he actually gets the minutes. Also, he has a potential to add a mid-range shot to his arsenal, which is something that is extremely attractive, especially at the power forward position. And then when it comes to his frame, he's 6'9" with a 6'11" wingspan, a standing reach of over 8 foot 10 inches, which is extremely impressive, and he weighs in roughly over 220 pounds. And oh yes, let's not forget that his vertical is ridiculously high. Aaron Gordon is one of the premier athletes in the NBA right now, and I could only imagine if he played for the Lakers and Lonzo Ball was throwing him lobs, it would be done. It would be crazy. It'd be showtime yet again in LA. So that's probably the biggest reason why I like his game, and also again the potential that he has, especially when it comes to growing. On a defensive end, I would love to see him be able to switch on multiple positions. I think he's quick enough to be able to guard some point guards and 2 guards in the NBA, but forwards is something that he definitely will eventually get accustomed to guarding over the next several seasons, which is something that you definitely will want in your team, especially in today's NBA where every team switches off of pick and rolls. In the second half of the NBA season, he averaged roughly around 14 points, nearly 6 rebounds, 2 assists, a steal, and shot around 47% from the field while only receiving roughly 30 minutes a game. But all in all, I think that his potential is through the roof, and like I stated before, a huge reason why I'm highlighting him is because he will be a restricted free agent. And even though I'm pretty sure teams aren't willing to give him a max contract, but you never know with the Brooklyn Nets because they could just throw money at whoever they want to. It will be extremely interesting to see how the Orlando Magic look at him when it comes to this next upcoming offseason. And it also will be very interesting to see what his value is in the open market, because I highly doubt he's going to be taking some qualifying offer or some minimum contract that the Orlando Magic may throw his way, especially because there's other organizations that desperately need his productivity on their team, and I feel like he will be a really good fit for the Lakers. So shout out to Aaron Gordon, y'all. I like you, bro. Go and sign with LA. Don't worry about what's going on with Julius Randle or about LeBron and all that. You could actually play with LeBron too. Just think about that. So go and sign with LA. We'll handle Orlando. Just go and sign with us. You still gonna be with the Magic. You gonna be with Magic Johnson. You ain't gonna be with bum ass Orlando Magic. You still gonna be with the Magic though. And with that being said, let's go ahead and go into the Twitter question of the day. So shout out to my man Swiss2Gs because he asked a really good question, and actually it was such a good question that I complimented him on how great of a question it was. He asked, who is the problem in the Orlando Magic front office? Luckily for you, he doesn't work there no more, but the last 5 years have been so egregious, it just amazes me the fact that he kept the job for 5 years. And it's my man Rob Hennigan. Woo, Rob Hennigan, boy. I'm gonna tell you something right now. Rob Hennigan might have been low-key one of the worst general managers in the NBA. No one didn't know about it though, and the reason why it was so low-key is because, quite honestly, nobody did not care about the Orlando Magic.
You're gonna learn today.
In 2012, Rob Hennigan decided to draft Andrew Nicholson, 1 selection before Evan Fournier. Then after that, he traded Ryan Anderson just to turn around and sign Channing Frye to an overpaid contract. You know, Channing Frye does the exact same thing that Ryan Anderson does, but he's older than Ryan Anderson. Then also, let's not forget that he signed Jacques Vaughn as a head coach. Trash. After that, in 2014, he selected Aaron Gordon and Dario Saric, which is pretty good if you ask me. However, he turned around and traded Dario Saric, along with a second-round pick that ended up being Willie Herman Gomez, and a first-round pick that ended up being De'Aaron Fox, just to get Elfrid Payton.
What's wrong with y'all niggas? What's wrong with you?
However, this organization decided, you know what we're going to do? We're going to sign Tobias Harris on July 14, 2015, then turn around and trade him away to the Pistons literally months down the road. Then we're going to trade him for Ersan Ilyasova and Brandon Jennings and keep neither one of them. So basically, we just gave up on Tobias Harris for nothing. And then you trade Victor Oladipo, Ersan Ilyasova, and your top 10 pick, which ended up being Sabonis, for an expiring contract, which is Serge Ibaka. Newsflash, I could have told you that Serge Ibaka wasn't going to stay on the team, because why would he want to stay on that trash organization? Then you had to turn around and trade Serge Ibaka for Terrence Ross. Makes absolutely, positively no sense whatsoever. Rob Hennigan, you should have lost your job the day of. That day, when you called OKC and traded Serge Ibaka, you should have lost your job that hour. Matter of fact, not even the day, that hour, that minute, that second. As soon as you hung up, the owner should have walked in and fired you. But for whatever reason, they just decided, you know what, I think he knows what he's doing, but he doesn't know what he's doing. It makes absolutely no sense that he kept his job. But wait, it gets even worse. Because not only you get Serge Ibaka, what you decide to do is, hey, you know, we're going to get Serge Ibaka, put him at the 4, and play Aaron Gordon at the 3? Who does that? And then now, yeah, you turn around and you get Bismack Biyombo and you pay him $17 million a year, and you still haven't traded away Vucevic? Who does that?
Shout out to my Orlando Magic fan. I'm sorry I had to go in on your team, man, but there's been so many players I actually liked on that roster that were just wasted. But let me know what you think about the organization and Orlando Magic in the comment section below. Also, leave a like and hit the subscribe button and hit the notification bell to be updated instantly when I upload the video on the channel. And I guess I'll see y'all tomorrow. Peace.